Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. And as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about the 5 things I don't like about my Evo 10. So I'm coming up on 2 years of ownership of my Evo 10. And I've had my ups and downs, but for the most part, it's been pretty good. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that I don't like about the Evo 10. So the first thing is that, if you don't know, this is the heaviest Evo out of the entire 10 generations. The Evo 10 is the heaviest Evo, and you can definitely tell when you're getting on it. I've driven an Evo 4 and an Evo 9, and those cars feel completely different from the Evo 10. Obviously, it's a different chassis and engine and whatnot, but as far as like power to weight ratio, the Evo 10 is not it. I mean, even simple bolt-ons, adding 40, 50 horsepower, I mean, you can kind of tell a difference, but these cars really don't feel fast until you're pushing like 400 horsepower, 400 torque. All right, and for number 2, if you ever drive an Evo 10 or you ever end up owning one, when you start driving this car, you will quickly start to realize that everything in here is cheap plastic, and a lot of it rattles. So I've made some adjustments and kind of modified the clips for the plastic to reduce some of it. But if you ever end up driving an Evo 10, you will quickly realize that almost everything in this car rattles because it's just cheap plastic. But yeah, that would be my number 2. It's kind of annoying. I would definitely fix that rattling as soon as you get an Evo 10, or if you think about getting an Evo 10, that will probably be one of my first things to do on this car is, find some, tiny pieces of rubber or little cloth pieces. Just try to stick them in between the clips of this plastic, because, just listen to this. Like, it's bad. Oh, this one's pretty, I think I fixed this one, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You're gonna hear that all day, every time you drive it. Now, it's not, excessive, but, it is annoying whenever you're driving your car. And for the third thing, I am not a fan of the transmission for the Evo 10. And there's 2 reasons why. One, the shifting just feels notchy. That's the best way I can explain it. I'm gonna try to compare this to like a 350Z transmission or a G35. I think they have the same transmissions, but a 6-speed like that feels way better than this transmission. I know that's kind of a bad comparison, but honestly, it just doesn't feel smooth most of the time when shifting through gears and whatnot. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that. And the second reason why I don't like the transmission, obviously this is a rally car, and I understand that, but I feel like Mitsubishi could have, at the bare minimum, extended the gear ratios for this car, because first through fourth, I think top end on fourth is like 90, 85, 90. Correct me if I'm wrong, something like that. But man, once you shift into 5th gear, this car loses all power band, especially if you're on a stock turbo. If you're on a stock turbo and you shift into 5th and you try flooring it, you're not going nowhere. Compared to like the other gears, like 5th gear is the longest gear in this car. It's the cruising gear. And I just wish Mitsubishi could have did something different to at least shorten that. because first to second to third, I mean, those gears feel amazing. You know, fourth, you know, kind of getting closer to that fifth gear. So, and once you shift into fifth, the race is over. Well, if you are racing or just doing free spirit driving, but fifth gear and the Evo 10 sucks, bro. And if you ever get one, you'll understand what I'm talking about. All right, and for number 4, so my Evo 10 is lowered just a tad bit, probably like 1.5 to 2 inches, but my Evo 10 is on BC Racing coilovers. And one thing that I learned the hard way is trying to get nice fitment on this car is kind of hard unless you get larger wheels and tires. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So I have a Tomei, and look how low that sits to the ground. Like, I'm already scraping, and you know, whenever I hit a dip or anything, my Tomei scrapes. So if I lower it anymore, I'm afraid that it's just gonna damage my exhaust, and I don't want that to happen. And you can't really do anything about it, at least for the mid pipe. Now the catback, you can probably adjust that. I've been told you can, but I have a different test pipe. I don't have the Tomei test pipe, but yeah, if you want to go low in this car, and if you get an aftermarket exhaust, 9 times out of 10, it is going to scrape if you try to lower this car. So the route I'm probably going to go is probably an 18-inch wheel and see how that fits, because I seriously don't want to go lower and risk, you know, just denting my Tomei, putting a hole in it, because, you know, it's $1,200. So yeah. And last but not least, number 5. So if you end up buying a Evo 10, please PPF it, because the paint on these cars, I mean, the Rally Red looks good and all, but as far as durability, this paint sucks. I mean, you drive this down the road for 10 minutes, you're gonna get a rock chip. So I've had this car for 2 years, and I mean, there's 1 rock chip, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, the paint on this car can flake off so easily if you don't get this paint protection film. I cannot stress that enough. If you buy Evo 10, that should be one of the first things you do if you want your paint to look OEM, clean, and brand new. Because if you don't know, Mitsubishi kind of cheaped out on this car. They were on the verge of going bankrupt, and they cheaped out where they could, and the paint was one of them. So cannot stress that enough. Please, if you get an Evo 10, get PPF for it. So yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap up the video. Those are the 5 things I don't like about my Evo 10. Comment down below what's one thing you don't like about your Evo 10, or if you plan on buying one, what are you looking forward to when you buy your Evo 10? But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap up the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. It's your boy eOrbz, and I'm out. Peace.